Good afternoon, Mr. Saleem.
Hello, how are you? Good afternoon. How are you, Mr.
I'm
Anthony?
good.
How's
I'm
everything?
good. Great. Good to see you within a very short span of time after the training as a PMP. Congratulations for achieving your PMP with a very good score.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. It wasn't possible without your efforts, and it was just because of the hard works and then the teaching methodology you adopted. And because of that, we are now capable to have this certification.
Great. And I'm really happy that our training assisted or benefited you in achieving your PMP certification. Obviously, that includes your hard work and preparation after the training. So Mr. Saleem is working as a package manager in Metro Rail, and he did the training with us in November and finished it in mid of December. And on 2nd of January, he passed the PMP certification as well. So within short span of time, he achieved his PMP certification, and his experience is also unique in the exam. So let's hear from Saleem how he prepared for the exam, how was the real examination, and how he got good scores in the re-exam. Yes, Mr. Saleem, let's start with your preparation. So how you prepared for the examination?
Yes, so Mr. Anthony, as by the time when you were giving the lectures to us, at that time, I was just taking hints of the major points you were explaining to us. So the best thing is that I mean, it's better not to lose the concentration, but if along with concentration, one can take points during the lecture, it's very, very good. Or later on, when you are sharing the link, so better to take hints of the major points, because it's very difficult to catch up all of the lectures and all of the details by the very end date when one is ready for the examination. So this is one thing which I've done. I've took all of the points, and I watched the videos, I think round about twice. Yeah, twice at least to watch the videos.
Class videos or
Yeah.
recording, class
Yes,
recordings.
yes,
Okay.
the recording class videos. And then another tool is the LMS. So the LMS which you are sharing, that has a mock exam, mock 1, mock 2, that's very important. And mock 0 is something good for the learning definitions. It's more about the definitions of the things. And so these practices are very important to be done. But what my preparation was that I made those hints. I took those hints in the examination in the preparation. And then thereafter, I concentrated on the lectures. And I quickly just had a quick study of the student manual as well. So it's better. I mean, something good to have the concise and then the brief introduction and brief definitions about many of the terms that are used in the PMP examination. So quickly, just one should not have to spend much more time there, but I mean, I quickly just studied 300 pages around of that. And I spend a lot of time in watching the lecture videos, but I left time. I mean, very less time for making this practice in LMS. So that was, I will say that it's a kind of mistake I've done in preparation. So
Okay.
this was just, I mean, my preparation. And then coming to the second point, what was the situation in the exam?
Yeah, before going
Yeah.
to that, just to summarize what Mr. Saleem had mentioned, he mentioned about a very, very couple of very important points. One of them is he made a note of key points when we actually he attended the training. So he recommended that if you're not able to do that during the training, when you watch the video, make a key note of key points we discussed in the training. So 1 or 2 days before the examination, you can review those notes. I think, Saleem, you did that. That helped you in the real examination as well.
Yes, it helped me a lot. Yeah,
Very
to
good.
understand, I mean, from your writings and from your understanding when you have a quick review of many of the things, because it's very difficult to memorize all of the lectures and all of the definitions for
True.
many of the things. So better to have the hints of that.
Take notes and hints that, okay, then he focused on the class recorded videos and student manual only once he read to understand the basics. Then the mock exams in the LMS he used to practice. So basically you used only the materials what you received from the training. You haven't used any other materials.
No, not else. Yes.
Very good. So approximately how many hours in a day you spent? Because you finished the training, if I'm right, in the mid of December.
Yes.
And you got the certification in the first week of January. So around like 15, 20 days. So approximately how many hours in a day you spend in preparation?
Yeah, this is very important question. Basically, I was very keen to receive this certificate as soon as possible, and because of that, I was making a parallel preparation. For example, when I was having a lecture one day, at that day I was just spending around about 2 hours to study the previous lecture. Because to get ready for the next lecture, it's also important to have an overview of the previous one. Many topics are interrelated. So it's very important that one have to have the idea of what they had in the previous lecture. Of course, in the second lecture, you are when you are starting any of the lecture, you are giving a quick summary of the previous lecture you had. But it's better for one to understand the idea before when one is appearing for the second lecture, in order to be concentrated and understand many of the terms. If not understanding, then sometime a person is lost it in between the lecture, and then he's just sitting for nothing. So this is what because to avoid this situation, I had this situation in 1 or 2 lectures. That's why I try my best to make a preparation before when I'm coming to the next lecture. So that's why one day I took the lecture. The second day I was just receiving the link from you to download that, to go to the exact previous lecture. And then I was studying that lecture and taking points from that. So that is also beneficial to be concentrated in the upcoming lectures. This is what I was doing. And the exact, the day when I was having a class, at that day, I was just spending 2 hours maximum, and then 3 hours of that class. But the second day, then I was spending around about minimum one have to spend 4 hours or 3 hours, because I was thinking of not to lose much more time after finishing the course, because
Okay.
it is also important not to give much more gap between finishing the course and appearing to the examination, because
Very good.
also to have a fresh mind of and fresh data in mind, it's better to go for exam in that state.
Very good.
Otherwise, as time is passing, so one is just
You
first
lose information,
losing
you lose knowledge.
concentration, and what he memorized and what he have in his mind, he's losing that with the passage of time.
Very
So
good. So one
this
of the
is,
important things you mentioned is you spend time during the preparation. We had classes alternate days, Saturday, Monday, and Wednesday. You even spend time during on the day of the lecture, at least 1-2 hours. And alternate days, you spend 3 to 4 hours in reviewing the video, going through the questions, etc. That's really great.
yes, yeah,
Okay.
it was somehow a tough job. Having working hours, going for the duties and performing work, and then coming back and having study. It's a tough job, not an easy thing, but one have to focus to finish these jobs, because
Great.
otherwise, without this dedication, hard working, it's impossible to get a PMP certification.
Very
Uh,
good.
and this is okay. I was spending this much time in making preparation, and then when I applied for the exam, that was I think a gap of 1 week roundabout in between finishing of the course and then appearing to the examination. So what I've done is that I left 2 to 3 days for the LMS practice, which is I've done mistake and I suffered because of this as well
During the
uh,
examination. Okay.
during the examination. Because the thing is that it's better to have a parallel preparation. For example, when you finish, let's say, risk management, If you finish risk management, then that topic is there in the LMS specifically. So better to have a parallel practice of LMS as well.
LMS questions, risk management questions.
Yeah. So then, I mean, that is to be, and all the topics are covered there in LMS. So better to have a practice in parallel of the LMS as well, in order to be capable to manage the time in the real examination. So
Very
management of time is a very tough job, and this is what I faced in the real examination.
Very
So
good.
when I was sitting in the examination at that time, at the exam, first of all, the questions which I've seen there, it was some question that were really, I was thinking of that it is totally different than what I've seen in the LMS. It is totally different than what I've seen in the lectures exactly. So I was a little bit shocked that the track is going in a different direction, and I'm going to lose this exam, and I'm going to appear for the next examination. So I mean, don't be afraid. This is my advice to one who is appearing to the examination, that before, I mean, initially they're giving some questions which are telling you that you study something different and the questions are different. Of course, that are related to the project management, but I think it's 9 to 10 questions, something in the beginning are coming like this, which make you very upset and thinking of that, oh, what I will do. I've just wasted my time and studied, and then came here, and now I'm facing something different in exam. So the basic thing is to understand the core concept. That's the main thing. And the quality of a person, of course, I mean, when one is studying the project management, he's understanding from that the project management is not about the skills only, but how to apply those skills.
Correct.
So this is the basic thing. So when you are understanding the core concept or idea, but you don't know, when a situation is given in a question saying that, okay, this kind of problems when happen, how how you will solve these problems, or many things when it coming. So if you know the core concept, you have to be capable to answer those questions based on those core concepts. So first thing is to better to understand the core concept, and then practice the question to understand to how to apply those core concepts in the main
given real
the examination. So when I was just I started my exam, and then attending the questions, in the beginning I was really upset. Then questions came that I was understanding how to answer. And when I was moving forward, and I was just, I mean, the LMS practice or the question practice gives you the capability to understand question quickly and to respond quickly. So, I mean, reading the question and taking the exact meaning or the understanding of the question, this is a time-consuming job. And that's why I'm saying to manage the time is for this one. I mean, if you are understanding the question, then you can answer it, because if you studied the course, so you can answer the question, but understanding of the question is a time-consuming job. So that is something which lose your time. So I'm, in my understanding, in the beginning, one should not have to give more than 1 minute to a single question. If it is losing more than 1 minute, then it's a horrible situation is coming in the coming hours. You will be running short of time, and this is what happened to me. Is that I attended, in the total number of questions were 180, and I attended round about 145 something, and the rest of question I haven't seen even.
The time was done by that time.
Yeah, the time is totally finished, and I didn't had even a break. There is optional break of 20 minutes. You can take 10 minutes in the middle and 10 minutes. I didn't had a break, and I spent those hours in attending the questions. Still, I was running short of time because of the lack of practice much more in all of the questions and understanding of the questions and managing the time.
Managing
So
the time, okay.
yeah, better to have a practice and manage the exam within the time frame that is given in the practice. So then you will be capable to attend the exam very well. But I was lucky enough that I had much more knowledge of from your lectures, and that's why the questions which I attended was absolutely correct, and there was very less mistake in those responses. And that was the basic reason that I got above the target in the first two sections, that is the people and the process. And then in the business, I meet only the target in that one. And
Yes.
I would have been above the target if I had attended all of the questions there.
Very good. So now I have to stop you here for a minute for the viewers. One of the mistakes what Mr. Saleem did during the exam preparation was he spent less time in practicing questions. Even though he was fully prepared about, correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Saleem, about the concepts, LMS mock exams, you mentioned only 3 days at the end to practice mock exams.
Yes.
And that, because of that, he had a difficulty in the real examination. It took a long time for him to read the question and understand that and answer it. So that because of that, around 145th question, the overall 3 hours, 50 minutes done and the exam got stopped. Yes. And the good thing is, as Saleem mentioned, he prepared during the lecture itself, during the class itself. So the concept was so clear so that most of the questions he answered were correct questions. I mean, were correct actually. And he got above target. I'll just share his score report. This is his score report, which shows in people and in process, he got above target, and business environment, he got target. Overall, he achieved his PMP certification. What does that mean? He actually answered most of the questions correctly. And that's really good. Reason for that is he was actually very clear with the concept. And in case he would have answered like all questions correctly, I mean, he'd have finished all 180 questions, then he would have got above target in the other area as well. That's really good. And even though you couldn't actually finish the whole exam, you got above target in the process. And by the way, process contributes to 50% of questions. People contributes to 42% of questions. Business environment contributes only to 8% of questions. What I think is that 8% of questions were in the last part, which you haven't seen, actually last 20, 25 questions. You missed many business environment questions. That's why you got only target, not above target in business environment.
Yes,
great.
Of course, yeah.
Okay.
So this is the thing. And then managing time is a very important thing in attending the exam. And then thereafter, I mean, okay, I mean, when you prepare like this, PMP is not a very difficult job if you have best engineering skills and you have past experience as per the requirements of the PMP. But PMP is not even an easy job to get the certification. And I would recommend to many of those who are having the training to have a best practice in Agile. Agile is the most important topic, which is covered in most of the areas. Okay. So I have to have understanding most for that one, focus mostly on that. And of course, the rest of the topics are not less important, that are also very important.
Very important. So approximately what percentage of questions you got from Agile?
My understanding, I think it's around about 60%.
Wow, 60%. Okay, sometimes we get 60, 70, something like that.
Yeah,
yes, that's right.
But they are giving questions in a very technical way. I mean, that are covering the rest of the topics as well, and taking something from your mind about Agile as well.
Okay, the question, for example, is about schedule or scope or cost, yes, but they linked with Agile.
Yes, so I mean, the rest of the study they want to check, and they in parallel they are checking your Agile mentality as well.
Mindset.
So when you are going for the examination, you have to be perfectly Agile-oriented person. You need to have a mindset of Agile. So when you have a full study of Agile, then you have to think that you are also agile practitioner, then you can
Okay.
attend. Yeah, any question when you're looking, just look at from the agile perspective.
Okay, let me ask you this. Before the training, have you had any agile experience?
No, I don't have any agile experience.
Great. So
This
I
is
believe
my
that
first time.
the concepts what you learned during the training and the student manual helped you to get that agile thinking. So, and
Yes,
practiced
yes,
questions as well in that way. Great.
yes,
Now,
yes.
any calculation based questions you got?
Well, not much. Calculation is not that much, but sometime it is asked, in order to check your mind, giving you some figures
Mhm.
that this figure is about this one and this about this one. So not asking you to give a figure in response, but just giving you the general ratio about the things.
Okay, is
So
it about something about sorry, CPI, cost performance index, and asking you what is the status of the project, something like that?
Something like that, or something about the contract saying that okay, I mean 20 and 80% of something, like, I mean
Okay,
the percentage of the contract management.
contract management. Okay,
Yeah, so when you are working in contract management, and just giving you a general idea, and then not exactly the calculation, but of course based on figures, checking your understanding about the
understanding.
concept.
Great,
So, I
great.
mean, those who are preparing the questions, they are well aware of that, how to check and test a person, that if
Okay,
he really has the PMP understanding. Or
or not.
yeah, this is something I've faced, and of course, many of the question, the whole of the areas, all of the areas, it's been covered. Yeah.
Covered. Okay. So
Yeah.
anything that is not covered in the training showed up in the examination?
In my understanding, they are covering almost everything.
Almost
Yeah.
everything. Okay, sir.
Yes,
So
in a single question, they might be covering many things. Yeah.
many things. Okay, right. So
Yeah.
what is your recommendation for the professionals, those who are preparing for the examination now?
Yeah, my recommendation is this one, is to first thing is to have a very concise and, I mean, very deep understanding about the lectures they are attending from your course. So they need to understand the basic concept, a
Mhm.
core concept, and then also to think himself or herself that she or he is from that environment, or from
Okay,
that mindset. So to understand completely the concept is as a first advice, and the second thing is to have a parallel preparation in order not to lose the concentration and to be prepared when the course is finished,
great.
and to have the LMS practice in parallel. Even I would say, why I haven't practiced LMS, because I was thinking of that if I'm not understanding about some topic, why I
Mhm.
should go and practice, because LMS is covering all of the areas. And that's why I was thinking, once let me finish the whole lectures and then I can go for the practice. So better those lectures which you are finishing, just practice those at least. And of course, if you have time, just give some advanced practice of, even okay, you're not you don't have understanding because you haven't have the lectures about the topics which are covered in most in or the upcoming LMS sections. So just attend LMS in portions. This is also another thing which I'm adding. If you
Okay,
are trying, for example, 180 or 200 questions in LMS, so better to attend the topics which you had already
covered.
worked with.
The session-wise quizzes.
Yeah.
Session-wise quizzes.
So
Okay,
making second session wise and submit those there, and you can understand from that based on these questions which I have attended, how much percentage it will add to the cumulative percentage.
cumulative percentage. Great.
Yeah.
Very good.
So
And yes, sir.
so this is the thing, and then thereafter, I mean, of course, once you finish, you need to have a very perfect practice of LMS,
Mhm.
and then, of course, the lectures are very important. And to understand the basic definitions, better to refer to student manual. If
Student
one have
manual. Oh,
time, it's not very compulsory, but just to have a quick understanding about the many of the definitions. And the hints are very important.
Yes, it's only like 287 pages, so it will not take much time also to go through the student manual.
Yeah. If one can read, or if he is skillful engineering background person, or let's say if he has a background of a good study, so quickly he can read it. It's not that much problem. Yeah.
Very good. And I'm sure your debrief will help a lot of participants, especially time management and understanding the concept, and to ensure that they finish the whole exam within the allotted time. It will help a lot. And once again, thank you very much for taking your time during your working day and giving us a debrief to support the future, PMP aspirants. Congratulations for achieving the
Thank you very much. Thanks
PMP
a lot.
once again.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
See you. Bye.